One of the things that make a wind instrument special is that we could use the instrument in our embouchure to almost kind of sing.
There's that spirit of the elements within our breath. It doesn't just come out in notes because so much of the breath has control in dynamics, in your timbre, and your texture.
Your body is the tool, the same way as the painter uses the paintbrush, the same way a poet speaks their words. You're using your airflow to get your emotions, your soul through it.
You could play one note and just put as much emotion as you want to in that one note. I think it's possible that two saxophone players can have the exact same saxophone, but those two people might actually get a different sound. I think that's a very spiritual thing because when you get to that point where you have your own unique sound, you really start to feel like it's something that's bigger than you. The world stage, it's a really special place for me in particular, and a lot of other musicians in LA can say the same because we were able to come here before we were old enough to go to bars. I've learned so many things here. I feel like I can come here and if something doesn't go the way I want it to, that is celebrated. Making a mistake can be celebrated here. You know, like I think it was Art Blakey or somebody like that, is somebody played a mistake and jazz was invented. That is always in mind here.
When I get inspiration, I need to be able to play something and hear it instantly. Especially playing a wind instrument, the acoustic space has such an impact of how you play and what you play.
When you get to a place where you feel connected to your instrument and you're putting air into it, you almost don't even feel. At that point, the instrument is kind of an extension of you. Like just walking. You don't really think about or feel every step you take, you just do it.
Singing for birds is just like a core, immediate, they know how to do it. That is what I believe is true for humans as well. Music is an innate core part of our being. The way that I have to make sound is connected to my life force. So I feel like I've grown a lot more connected to my breath because of my instruments. The breath can shift your whole nervous system, your whole being, your whole mental state. I do meditate, but a lot of my meditation is through playing my instruments. There's been so many hours spent where I was working on my sound and my air, and I would just sit there playing notes for the longest amount I could with the most beautiful tone I could. That, I think, was critical in the creation of my sound.
I think the best music you can make is when your mind is clear. The quieter your mind is, the better the sound.
So I've always wanted to express myself through voice, but I'm a very bad singer. So with the saxophone, I feel like it accomplishes the same thing. I think because there's no break from your soul to the sound. You want to play play softer, quieter. It's a much gentler experience, but it's all about what you're feeling. There's a magic diving into this unknown territory with saxophone where, can I do this? Should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? Well, I'm gonna do it anyway, so let's do it. I'm able to use my breath and my voice to connect with people, bring them into my world. But they're all tied to the same moment of feedback loop and connecting with people or objects or spaces.
These instruments are tied to our life force. It is tied to what keeps us alive, which is our breath. Because it is tied to our spirit, that has to come through.